Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of PlayStation Pursuit. So recently I went down to the second year of a really fun sister con to Retro Game Con, which is our local convention. And that con is a video game con, and it's in Parsippany, New Jersey, or that's where it's been the past 2 years. Really cool convention. Paul, the guy who puts it on or heads it up, he's a really cool guy. He's been coming to our convention for a long time. I really love this convention, and it was always good to go to conventions like this with my buds because I get to see other friends while I'm there, and we get to hang out with some cool personalities in the gaming community, and it's just a really fun time overall. So the convention itself was great. Thank you so much for a good time, Paul, and everybody else who helped put it on. But I also was able to get a lot of really cool PlayStation 1 games. So stay tuned. I will show you what those games are in this episode. Okay, so the first games that I got are just some either commons or randoms or something like that, I guess, to describe them. The first game, my buddy Pat Milligan from River City Retro, he had a table there, and this is a game that I didn't have, and he actually just let me have it because it was not very high priced at all, and he was a good bud and gave me this game. So thank you so much, Pat, for this. It's a kid's game called Dragon Tales Dragon Seek. Now, one thing I don't like about this game is when I see this game at stores, I've seen it before, I see this spine, and I think it's a game called Dragon Seeds, which I don't have yet and really want, and is kind of hard to find for the PlayStation. So every time I see this, I think it's that Dragon Seeds game, but nope, it's Dragon Tales Dragon Seek. It says it's by Sesame Workshop, so I'm wondering if it's like, I think this might have been a kid's show back in the day, educational show, and it's probably an educational game, but it's got really cute looking sprite work and stuff. It might actually be one of those games that's like a fun game and a kid's game, because there are definitely those that exist. So educational, but yet fun. Or it might suck, I don't know. But thank you, Pat, for that. That was a cool first addition to the collection while I was at the I almost said Too Many Games. We don't speak that on another con's video, but a video game con. This next allotment of games, I'm pretty sure I didn't have these. It's hard now that I'm getting more and more games. A lot of the common or sports games are hard to keep track of when I'm out in the wild, but I'm pretty sure all three of these ones I don't actually have. These were in a $2 bin or 3 for $5, so I took advantage of that 3 for $5 deal. Really cool to get these. The first one is a baseball game that I don't ever see this one. I think at 98 I might have seen before, but it's Hardball 99. And this is one of those ones, like I've mentioned in past episodes, I see the cover and I go, I've never seen that one before. So glad to get that one. And then this one I played back in the day. I actually have tons of memories of this. This was a wrestling game that I think this was the first one that had a creator wrestler, and it was just so robust for the launch of this. I have so many good memories of this game. WWF Warzone. Just so many cool things you could do with it, and it was a fun game. I remember it seemed to be a pretty fun wrestling game overall, even beyond the character creator. There were, I think, the N64 one I probably played. I think it was WCW versus NWO Revenge. I played a lot more of that one than this back in the day, but I spent so many hours playing this for the character creator, and then it was a solid game as well. So pretty cool to get that one. And then this I thought was interesting because I knew this was on N64, but I didn't realize it was on the PlayStation, and I don't know how it is, but I feel like I associate this with the N64. And it's Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey 98. So cheap, and one I didn't have, so glad to get that. Alright, I'm going to take a little break, talk about some PlayStation favorites, and then I'll round out the video with the last two pickups. Didn't get a ton at the con, but I definitely got some solid additions, so stick around. I can't speak of the PlayStation and my favorite games without talking about this game. I'm surprised I haven't talked about this before. And it's probably because the series has kind of fallen from grace over the years. But boy, when this first one and second one came out, revolutionary. And, you know, people who were into the theme of the game and weren't even into it just enjoyed this series because it was so well made. That is Tony Hawk's Pro Skate. This very first Tony Hawk, I first played it on a demo, and I think a lot of people did play the demo disc version. And even that demo, which was one course, time limit, couldn't change the options. I think it was like a 3-minute or 5-minute run in this track, or I say track, but it's not a race, this course, I guess. Such an amazing time with just the demo. So when the full game came out, it was just such a revolution at the time. So extreme sports were at their apex in that era. I think like the X Games and stuff were most popular at the end of the 90s and everything. And, you know, things were so extreme and wild and radical, man. Well, I guess radical's all the 80s, but things were so wild and extreme in the 90s that extreme sports just, I think that was like their time and place. And Tony Hawk was cool because it definitely nailed like the popularity of skateboarding, but it was just damn fun to play. The way it connected your combos it's such a new way compared to, I mean, there was plenty of skateboarding games in the past, all the way from like 720, Skate or Die, and upwards, and even before Tony Hawk came out, I'm pretty sure there was a few other ones before it on the PlayStation. And, you know, there's some, not to say they aren't solid attempts and stuff, but Tony Hawk is where it like clicked and really worked. I think the branding was good. I think Tony Hawk was gaining in popularity and it was just the right place, right time kind of thing as well. But this game could have said Bozo the Clown's Pro Skater, and if it played as well as it played, it still would have been an awesome game. You had a lot of other skateboarding favorites that you could play as, and then the course design was awesome because not only did you have great abilities or opportunities to do tricks and connect them with grinds and stuff, but there was like fun, almost over the top objectives with things interacting with the environment. And one thing I remember being super impressed with at the time was they had video screens that would play full motion video while you were playing the game. You know, it's probably nothing nowadays, but boy, when this came out, seeing a video, like the intro video for Tony Hawk playing on a screen in the background of the track, like there was a big projector screen there, just felt so cool. I mean, it was unbelievable, and really was like, I might not even take much processing power to do that, but it was impressive to me when I played that game. And the graphics were good overall for all the tracks and everything, but boy, the design of getting from one place to another and doing the best combos you can, and you know, connecting your tricks in a chain of high score, just there's nothing more satisfying than that. And I still can go back and play this to this day. Sorry, a little editing glitch there, but Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, just as amazing as the first one and even beyond because of what it added. Now, I didn't really mention this on the first one, but it goes for both 1 and 2. The soundtracks, licensed soundtracks, were perfect. I don't know what it was. It's just, a lot of times games have licensed soundtracks and you're just like, if it's not the genre you're into, you're kind of like, But the genres in this fit. The punk music, the pop punk music, the metal, the hip hop, it just fit. I think it was like soundtracks that the players in this would have been listening to, or the skaters. And so both games have fantastic soundtracks that I think when people hear the songs, they instantly get taken back to this game. And I know I do, and I've heard stories of other people too. Now, Tony Hawk 2's major claim to fame, I think you can't stress it enough, that it changed everything and made it such a good sequel, is the addition of the manual trick. Basically what that is if you press up and down or down then up, you do like a 2-wheel balance trick to connect different tricks. So if you go up on a ramp, then grind, then jump off and do a flip trick, and then do a manual, it continues that chain of tricks until you make it to the next spot to jump up onto. And obviously you have to be good with your balance and stuff for that, but that just made it where now I can do even higher combos and higher scores. So it's just so revolutionary back in the day. And like I said, there's really nothing more fun than these original games. I still really like a lot of the other ones that came out after this. In fact, I played Tony Hawk 3 for the PlayStation 1 more recently because I played it on PS2 when it came out. And even though it's not as good as that one, it was just another PlayStation era solid title. So it's just cool to see that even that lower port was still really fun. But both games and a lot of the games after this for the series were really good, but I love seeing that it started on the PS1. And definitely, if you haven't played these in a long time, or if you've never played them, give them a shot, because you don't have to be a fan of skateboarding to enjoy these games. I happened to skateboard in high school, so it was like perfect timing, but even now I haven't ridden a skateboard in over 10 years, but man, is this fun to go back and play. So definitely check out Tony Hawk 1 and 2 for sure on the PlayStation. Alright, so the last 4 games I'm going to show for this week are 2 smaller jewel case games and then 2 long box games. The first one I used to have this disc only, and it's silly and dumb fun, but it actually was a really cool fighting game and I liked it, and it's my favorite in the series, even though it's not as serious. It is Battle Arena Toshinden 3. I mean, you have zany characters. There's a guy with a gun that's way overpowered. It's just so cheap. But I don't know. Something about it, the fact that maybe that I'm not as hardcore of a fighting game fan and I just want to have fun when I'm playing this and not have to worry about being super competitive. I really just like every stage, every song, every character, the cheesy dialogue. Really, really fun. So, picked that one up. Very glad to finally own that after having just the disc a long time ago. And then this game here, I have in the collection. You've seen me talk about it in the past, I think when I got the special edition. But I've never seen this version. It's kind of a variant. And it is Grand Theft Auto 1, but it's the director's cut. So it's Grand Theft Auto and includes the London 1969. Maybe this is more common than I thought, and I just never really looked for it because I saw the standalone or the 3-pack with the white cover like I got a few episodes back. But this one, it even says 2 discs, 2 countries, 1 low price, and a sticker on the front. So I wanted to get it because it had that. And it's in fantastic shape. I got that disc here, and then the London disc, and it even had the map. So that's always a good thing. Oh, it actually has the other manual on the other side too. So really, really cool to get this complete package. So I'm glad to have this, even though it's technically a duplicate. It's not a new game to add number-wise to the collection. Had to pick it up when I saw it because I didn't realize it even existed, so pretty cool. And then now for the long box games. This first one I picked up from the Bad Graphics Gamers, which you may remember myself doing the Truffle Shuffle at Retro Game Con to get a Sega CD game. Well, that happened. Nothing I can do to take that back. But they're cool guys, and they hooked me up with this game that I didn't have, and it's called High Octane. The Track Fights Back, it says on a subtitle. And it's made by Bullfrog Productions, which I'm more familiar with them doing like sim type games, like they did the Theme Park and Theme Hospital. So I was interested to see that they did a non-simulation game. And it looks like a racing game with some action, maybe a little Wipeout like, because there's combat and stuff, but it says the track fights back and keeps saying like real-time terrain morphing. So not only is it cool to have this because it's a long box that I didn't have and it's in fantastic shape. In fact, one thing I forgot about, it has the foam, but it also has this little EA game advertisement with different games that were on PlayStation 1 by Electronic Arts, so definitely want to look through that at some point. Ooh, and it advertises Syndicate on the PS1 on the back too, which I think came out. Yeah, I think it's in a small case though. Or maybe there's a long box, whatever. I'll find out eventually because I gotta get it. But pretty cool game here. I'm definitely excited to check that out since I didn't have it, and actually I haven't really seen it before. Although I did see multiple copies of it at the convention, so pretty cool to have that. And then this one I'm really excited to get. It is a PC port of a franchise that I haven't played this far back on, but I played, I think, on Xbox 360, the newer one, and I really liked it. And it is XCOM UFO Defense. Now, one thing with games like this is when you play a game that's like a PC port on a console, 90% of the time it's going to be inferior to the PC version. Sometimes I like them a little more, but overall you're getting a worse version of this. And I don't know how this stands in the hierarchy of PC games on ported to PlayStation, but it says it has mouse compatibility, and I have the mouse right here, in fact, and the mouse pad for PS1. So playing it with that, I would assume, would make it even closer to the PC version. So as long as it runs well and, you know, has all the content of the PC version, this might be a really competent port of the game. And I know it's a series that had a lot of acclaim back in the day, so hopefully this was a good port. But very glad to get it, and I definitely got it for well under the value, which is amazing at a convention, because a lot of the prices there were over eBay, so I'm just like, ugh. But as you see, I found a pretty good selection of games while I was there. So that's all I got. I didn't get a ton. I didn't go overboard. I didn't really have much to spend, and I ended up being very thrifty and getting all these for a very cheap price. So really cool, but had a great time at the convention, and was always good to see a lot of good friends there. And my buddy Pete Dorr, who does videos on here too, he and I were talking about a lot of PlayStation games, and he actually got that High Octane game for a lot cheaper than I got it for, even though I didn't pay much for it either. He found it even cheaper, and I was like, ooh. But, you know, that's the way it goes at the conventions. But it was cool because we were talking about a lot of those types of games, and I'm very happy with what I got. So, a pretty cool addition and a pretty cool episode. Stick around. I'm going to put you on hold real quick while I tally up the total, and we'll see where I'm at for this week. Okay, so I'm now up to 540 games for the PS1. Ching! Awesome. Really cool additions this week, and I said it time and again throughout the episode, but really had a good time at the convention. So thanks, Paul, for a fun time and helping out in the PlayStation pursuit by putting on a convention that brought a lot of games I needed. So very good time, and always fun hanging with my friends. So thank you again for watching this episode. Please like, subscribe, and comment and all that jazz if you haven't before. I definitely like to interact with people on the videos. So any questions, comments on stuff I picked up, definitely glad to talk with you about that. So stick around. I will see you guys in the next episode.